Well, hey, University Bible Church, we are excited to be able to gather together. So if you haven't been following kind of the updates, according to the state guidelines, we can start meeting now in person, although there's a number of things that we need to follow, guidelines that we need to follow. And there'll be a place later where you can read those on your own, but basically it's in a document that looks like this, that the state has put out, that explains all the things that they recommend that we do if we meet in person. And so I'm going to walk you through some of those things so that you know what to expect and you can make an informed decision for yourself, whether to attend in person or to watch online. So you got to expect that things will be a little bit different, but the things that will be the same are, we'll be able to sing, we'll be able to pray, we'll be able to study the Word, there'll be some fellowship, and so we're excited for that. But I don't want you to be caught off guard, so I want to walk through some things with you. So as you come up to the door, there will be an usher wearing a mask that will open the door for you, and then you'll just come on in. When you get into the lobby, there'll be masks available if you want a mask. Masks are optional, but if you would like a mask and you don't have your own, they'll be available for you, as will hand sanitizer. But we do ask that people not gather here in the lobby, because at all times we need to maintain a 6-foot distance between households. And if people gather here, even if, you're excited to see people and you want to talk to people, you're encouraged to do that outside, because once you get in here, that can create a bottleneck issue. So the usher will open the door, you'll come in, and then there'll actually be another usher here that will take you into your seat. Because we have to have the seats set up in a special way to maintain that distance as well. And we have to seat people from the front all the way back so that you're not walking too close to people on the way in. And so the usher is going to need to direct you to a seat. So if you come on in, I can show you that. We have these seats set up in different islands, and this is to maintain that 6-foot distance at all times. And so some have more chairs, some have less chairs. We can adapt that a little bit if we need to as we look at who's coming to what service. But we need to basically keep each household intact, whether it's a household of one person or a household of 6 people. We need to keep those intact. So the usher will direct you in, and they'll put you in one of these seats. And we ask that once you're seated, that you stay seated through the rest of the service. And what's tough about that is that works against so many of the things that we prize when we gather together. We want to usually walk around and shake hands and hug and talk to people. And unfortunately, inside here, we can't really do that, because if people are moving around, that again makes it hard to keep that 6-foot distance. So we're going to ask that you, once you're seated, that you try to remain seated. And so use the restroom at home if you can before coming in. If you do have to leave, though, we understand that happens. You have to attend to a child. You do need to use the restroom. We want you to use whatever exit is closest to where you're seated. And so that might be going out here through the gym and around to the restroom. It might be the side door here going through the high school room, or it might be back out this front door. But we ask that you choose which one is closest to you and exit and re-enter through that same door. But again, try to avoid that if you can. One of the things we're going to do is work really hard to keep the service right at an hour or even a little bit less. So those that have kids with them, it's not as much of a burden to kind of stay in here at one time. We're also not going to be handing out bulletins because we're trying to minimize person-to-person contact. So those things will be available online. Sermon notes will be available online. So if you like those notes, you're encouraged to access those, print those before you come in and bring them with you. Or just bring a notebook and take notes in that. We'll try to be really clear in the message that you can just follow along and take notes that way. Likewise, you'll want to bring stuff for your kids. If you're bringing kids with you, to keep them occupied and engaged with the message. So maybe that's printing off the children's material from the website. Maybe that's bringing some coloring pages with them, bringing their own Bible so they can follow along with the passage. Really use this time to help your kids engage with the message. But if they squirm around a little bit and stuff, we get that. We want to have them here. We don't have nursery or Sunday school or junior church available right now. We're keeping things pretty simple, so the kids will need to be with you in the service. So the service itself will operate pretty much like normal. We'll sing, we'll pray, time in the Word, another song at the end. But you also need to expect that things might have to be simplified sometimes. Because right now we're looking at having to do 3 services to accommodate everybody who needs to be there. And so when that comes to having a worship team at each service, that can be quite a bit. And so you might have to expect that sometimes the closing song might be, a cappella. Somebody leading us in a hymn a cappella, or it might be just one guy on a guitar. Sometimes it might be the full worship team. So expect a little bit of simplicity at times as we try to fill in these various slots. Okay, once the service gets done, we'll need to exit in a similar way that we came in. So we'll need to exit with the back rows starting instead of the front rows, so they can clear out and make room for other people, being mindful of ways that we might have a bottleneck and have too many people close together. So from up front, we'll dismiss those back rows beginning. The ushers will help with that as well. And you're encouraged, again, not to gather in the lobby, because that can create a bottleneck, but to head straight outside. Once you're outside, there's tons of room. It's considered less risky to visit outside according to the guidelines. And so you're encouraged, hey, take that fellowship time outside, and especially when the weather's good, gather, talk to people. Still try to keep that 6-foot distance as they recommend, but you can talk with people out there, and that enables others to clear on out. So we'll exit starting with the back and working your way to the front. You're encouraged to go straight outside. One of the other reasons we need people to leave when the service is over and move out that way is we have to do a thorough cleaning of this. And so that's actually why we have these plastic chairs instead of fabric, is because after every service, we're going to completely disinfect all of these chairs to make sure that it's safe for the next group coming in. Okay, well, I think that's everything I'm supposed to cover. Let me look. Oh, be very attentive to your own health. If you're feeling at all sick, even if it's mild, even if you think, hey, this has nothing to do with COVID-19, but you have a cough, you have a sore throat, you're encouraged to stay home. That's, again, something the guidelines recommend. So we'll continue to make our service available online. And so, hey, if you're feeling sick, well, watch from home. If your kids are sick, watch from home. Okay, I think that's it. Hey, guys, we are excited to see you. If you feel comfortable gathering, man, come. We would love to see you. If you're unsure of that, hey, watch from home. But know that we're praying for you. We miss you. We love this body, and we're encouraged to be able to gather, even if it seems a little bit strange.